If you're someone that's been chasing out their time, then this is the video for you. In today's world, it seems like no one has time for anything, which is why people don't focus on bettering themselves because they feel like they don't have the time to better themselves. You might ask someone out of shape, hey, why don't you go to the gym? I guarantee you one of their answers is going to be, oh, I work too much. I got to take care of things at home. Just work in general, or I don't have the time. That's what they're going to say. Hey, you're going to ask someone, why don't you make meals instead of ordering out? Oh, I don't have the time to meal prep. I don't have the time to do that. I'm always working, or I'm too busy. You ask someone in general, hey, why don't you, read a book every day, or why don't you better yourself in general every day? They're going to say, I don't have the time to do that. I'm working. But what if I was to tell you that that's not actually true, and that everyone does indeed have enough time, but they're just not utilizing it correctly, and instead wasting time doing things that they don't need to be doing? For example, like scrolling on Instagram, TikTok, Snapchat, etc. They're wasting their time watching YouTube videos. They're wasting their time just sitting around doing nothing. But I think the biggest time waster is our phones. I feel like our phones is really what's taking away people's time. For example, right? You might get up in the morning. You probably got work at 9 o'clock. You get up at 8 o'clock. And you're probably going to sit on your bed, lay down, and scroll on social media for about 30 minutes until you got to rush to get ready for work. Or let's say you're on your break at work. Instead of actually doing something productive with that time during your break, even if you are eating or anything of that nature, you might be scrolling on social media. When you get off of work, you come home, you might be sitting in your car. And before you even step outside of your car, I meant to say, you might be sitting in your car just sitting there scrolling for 30 minutes to an hour. And then you might finally leave your car and get into your house. A lot of people do this. They get off work, go home, and then sit in a car for an hour doing nothing. And then you get into your house, and then it's like 8 o'clock or whatever, or 7 o'clock, and you rushing to take a shower and, order you some food or something like that. And it's like, now you rushing, and then you like, man, I ain't got enough time for nothing. And that's not true. You're just not prioritizing it right. Your priorities are not where they should be. This is pretty much a part 2 to my last video, but just about time in a sense. Another thing too is waking up late. A lot of people don't want to sacrifice time in order to make time. And what I mean by that is this, right? Let's say you have a schedule of you got to go to work at 8 o'clock and you don't get off of work until 4 o'clock. Or, you got to go to work at 9 and you don't get off until 5. I guess that's the time range of people. That's why they call it a 9 to 5 for a reason. And so what people will do is they will wake up at 7 or 7:30, rush to get to work, get off work, chill, do nothing. And then they working, let's say you work a hard labor type of job, or even just a job in general, because let's be real, even if you work customer service or food, restaurants, whatever it may be, Walmart, McDonald's, a warehouse, it could be not only time consuming, but it's also taxing to your energy, especially if you have to deal with people, because being in contact with people, me, myself, I'm an introvert. I work at a job where I have a career where I have to, talk to customers. I've gotten used to it, and I've been able to manage it. And, that's another video for another day when it comes to learning how to deal with people. And not necessarily deal with people, but, not allowing that to take too much of your energy away. But yeah, back to the topic, and let's say if you were cashier, you have to talk to so many people. You know how taxing that is energy-wise? Like, people might think that, oh man, that's not a hard job. You just at the cashier, you're just sitting in one spot doing nothing. Bro, it takes a lot of energy to talk to 100 different people, especially if you had a job like Walmart or Kroger or Target, where there's hundreds of people coming through there daily. And then you work at the cashier. You work as a cashier at that, where you have to literally talk to hundreds or different people. You can, man, especially if it's busy, that's taxing. You gotta put on a fake smile and, hey, how you doing? How's your day? Hey, how's your day? Hey, how's your day? Like, that's so like non-authentic. Like, that's so fake. You have to put on this fake persona. You have to, hey, how's your day going? Like, you could be going through the worst thing at home, or anything, could just be not feeling it, but you got to put on this fake smile and, hey, how's your day going? And I feel y'all, because I used to be in a position like that where it's taxing. And so in order to combat that, what you need to do is get up earlier. So if you got to go to work at 8 o'clock, you should be getting up around maybe 5, or if you really, really want to lock in, get up anywhere from around 4 to 4:30, anywhere from around 4 to 5. Because what this is going to allow you to do is get up early, get a lot of things done, and then go to work. So then if you're tired after work, then you can have a little bit more time to chill out. Because you got to start somewhere. I'm not telling y'all to just get up early, go to the gym, read a book, meditate, pray, do whatever you got to do, and then go to work, and then come home and then do extra work outside of that. Take steps. There's steps to this. The first thing you should be doing is getting up earlier. For example, like I said, get up at 4, anywhere from around 4 to 5, going to the gym, reading, meditating, preparing your food for the day, whatever you got to do. So then by the time you get to work, you all set. You can get off of work and have nothing else to do. Maybe just make you dinner or whatever like that. Versus, you waking up at 8, waking up at 7, rushing to get to work. You got to deal with people, or you got a hard labor job, and then you get off work and then you tired from your job, and then you're like, man, I can't go to the gym. I'm tired. Like, cause let's be real. That's what it be. You get off work and you like, man, I want to go to the gym, but you tired. Some days you might go, you might have that little motivation, but motivation only gets you so far. So when reality set in and that motivation dies down and you have to rely on discipline, you're not going to rely on it. You're not going to really care too much to go to the gym, because you're going to prioritize your energy. You're going to be like, hey, I'm tired as hell. I just got off a 8-hour shift, a 10-hour shift, a 12-hour shift. What do I look like going to the gym? That's why I think it's best to take care of things beforehand, so that after you get off work, you can chill, relax, do the lightweight, activities that you got to take care of, whether it's reading or, meditating, or just, meal prepping. So then you're all right. But that's what I honestly think is going on. I don't think people have a shortage of time. I think it's more so a shortage of using that time correctly. Another thing too is this, right? Let's say you want to start day trading, or you want to start investing, or you just want to start a second business or whatever. And you work at a job where you're able to be on your phone sometimes, or you're able to listen to music. Instead of being on your phone, scrolling on Instagram and listening to music, how about you listen to podcasts that are about whatever business field that you want to get into? Hey, if you want to learn how to day trade, listen to stock podcasts, listen to, trading podcasts, listen to trading videos, and, create you a playlist so that while you're working, you're able to listen to these things. And because I promise you, at the end of the day, look, because we all go through it, right? We wake up, we go to work, we do whatever we got to do. We got these big goals that we want to accomplish for the day. We got these things we want to work on, but then we end up not doing it. We go to sleep. We wake up. We feel a big sense of regret that, dang, I didn't do what I wanted to do. And so then you thinking about, like, man, I should have did that. But then the day goes on and you do the same thing over and over again. So in order to combat that, just do what you're supposed to do. Listen to podcasts, instead of listening to music. Instead of scrolling on Instagram, you could be doing some research on whatever it is that you want to do. And I guarantee your life will literally change before your eyes. Your productivity will literally skyrocket. And on top of that, it's also going to build discipline, so that you're able to use this discipline in other fields, like going to the gym, reading, eating right, doing meal preps and everything of that nature. And like I said, your entire life is just going to change in the snap of a finger. So that's what I honestly think is going on. People don't have a shortage of time. They just don't know how to use their time wisely. Another big thing that ties into this as well is taking advantage of your off days. We all have them. Again, unless you're working 7 days a week, 12-hour shifts, it might be a little more difficult to take advantage of your free time. But majority of people are working 5 days a week, 4 days a week. Some people are working part-time, and they're still not taking advantage of that time that they have. So It's important for you to take advantage of that time because I get it. It's called the weekend. This is when you weekend. You worked 5 days a week, 6 days a week, or whatever it might be. On that 1 or 2 days off or 3 days off, you just want to chill, relax, and do nothing. But then what tends to happen is your week starts over and then you're complaining about, man, I ain't got no time for nothing. Bro, you just had 2 days off. Why didn't you take advantage of those 2 days? Like most people work 5 days, right? They have Saturday and Sunday off. At least use Saturday to work on your business or yourself in general or anything that you want to get into instead of doing nothing at all both of those days and then complaining about how you got no time. You can meal prep on Saturday or Sunday for the entire week. Yes, it's going to take some time to do, but it's better off that you do it because you're going to not only save time throughout the week if you make food, and it's also going to save you some money as well. And it's also healthy. Like, come on now. Like, let's not be children. Let's not be lazy. Let's not be delusional. We all have more than enough time. We just got to start putting it to some good use. But yeah, that's all I got for y'all today, man. Hope y'all take care. Again, priorities. Priorities, man. Would you rather scroll on Instagram or do some research on a certain type of business that you want to get into, a certain type of field or trade, etc.? Would you rather listen to that music, that's going to give you that little dopamine rush for that 3 minutes, 5 minutes, or, you might be listening to music your entire shift. Instead of doing that, how about you just listen to some podcasts, man? The music going to always be here. But time is not always going to be here. So it's really important that you use that time wisely because we all know you can't get it back. Until next time, see y'all boys again.